Hey guys, it's Spiffyguy and I'm back here with another gear video. This right here is a Cold Steel Trailhawk. This is a tomahawk. It's a pretty common one that a lot of folks use as sort of a very lightweight chopper replacement for batoning a knife, that sort of thing. I received this as a gift for my birthday and I really haven't taken it out much and done anything with it, and I decided to get working on it. There's some modifications I want to make to it before I take it out in the field, and so I figured I'd bring you along. One of the beauties about the tomahawk is the head actually will come off the handle, and that way you can, one, make a new handle for it, make the handle longer, customize whatever you need to, and two, you can just carry the tomahawk itself and make the handle in the field so it's a little bit lighter to carry with you. That tomahawk itself, it can do some decent chopping. I've seen a lot of videos where folks are using it in a manner of a hatchet, and it works rather well. Another thing you can do is once you take that tomahawk off the handle, you can sort of use it as a planer and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of versatility that comes with a tomahawk head, other than just the cool factor that you can throw it and that sort of thing. So this series is pretty much going to be the modifications that I do to it. So right off the bat, you can see I made this little sheath here. This is not a very good sheath. I'm not a good leather worker, but I did kind of fool around with it. The hope was that this strap would be a little bit more sticky and it would sit right there. It didn't quite work, but for the meantime, this will work well. As we delve into things, we'll work a little bit better on stitching, and maybe I'll make some leather videos. But it did come from the factory. It's a little sharp, but we're gonna do a lot of work on it, so we'll sharpen it up when we're done. The big thing that you need to do is there's a set screw here. Some folks like the set screw. It does keep you from removing it from the handle. So unless you're carrying like a metric hex wrench out in the field, then we're going to remove that. You can see right here it's got a little bit of I don't know what you call that, scraping. So we're going to file around on the inside of that eye, try to smooth that out so it doesn't grind up our wood too much. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to take out this set screw, and I want to strip off all of this black material. Alright, so you can see I removed that set screw that's right in there. It's not hard to do, but it is I believe it is metric, so I didn't have a hex wrench that fit it, but I had a little small screwdriver I was able to get it out with. You can see on the inside here that it definitely chews it up. They don't mess around at the factory. They drill that guy in there, and then the eye, the top portion of this eye right here, is a little sharp, and so we're going to round that off. But before we go messing around, let's weigh it as it comes from the factory here. The head itself is 341 grams, which equates to 12 ounces on the nose. We toss in our little set screw, and we go to 12.05 grams. Don't lose that set screw. You may need it, but I'm not planning on using it, but it's useful to hang on to. Alright, so the handle here comes in at 9.9 ounces. Oops. Which is 281 grams. So these two together, we're looking at 622 grams or 21.9 ounces. And that is 1.3 pounds. So it's kind of heavy for the size of the chopper you're getting. But if you compare it to some of the other ones, like hatchets and things like that, it could be a little lighter. Let's take a look here at the dimensions. You're looking at just about 7 inches all the way across on the wide portion, and you can see that you're looking at about a 2¼ inch cutting surface. I believe that's what they say on the website. Okay, so I mentioned I want to take off this black coating here. I want to do that before I make any modifications to the actual head itself. To do that, I'm going to be using this stuff right here. You can get this at Walmart. This is a clean strip. It's called Premium Stripper, It's essentially just a spray can. You spray it on for about 15 minutes and scrape off your stuff. It's pretty useful. Do this in a well-ventilated area outside, and make sure to wear gloves, because it's probably not good for you. They got gloves right on the bottle there, you know, so maybe we should be safe. So let's go do that. All right, so I did the best to get the sticker off here. It's kind of a pain. This clean strip stuff should pull that off. It takes about 10-15 minutes or so to get into it. I've used this on my BK2 knife, and I'll put a little link up there, and you guys can take a look while this is setting. You can see what I did on the BK2, so I'll put a link around somewhere here. So we'll just spray it on. We'll scrape off the one side with our paint scraper, and then we'll do the other side. After that, if there's anything left, we will use some steel wool. Just keep in mind that this coating is on there as a protector for the metal, so once you remove that, you may run into some rust issues depending upon your you know, the area that you operate in. So it's going to be important that you treat this metal either with some, you know, some sort of oil or wax, that sort of thing, you know, a little bit of beeswax on there just to protect it. You can also use a patina, which is makes it kind of a little grayer, puts on a specific type of surface rust that actually protects the metal. You can do that with vinegar and things. All right, it hasn't even been 10 minutes yet, and you can see that this this material is just coming right off. So we can and just rub it off here, and you'll see that the paint just comes right off. I really like this clean strip stuff. It seems to work rather well. So you don't even really need the paint scraper. There'll be some stubborn areas like right here where we'll have to reapply a little bit. But there you go. And now that we've got all this black stuff off, we're going to get this kind of nice gray patina, and I think that's going to look real nice. So we'll just spray it up and clean it off. Alright, so there you go. I applied a couple coats, mainly to get in these rounded areas down in here, right in there. You can see that the metal has a little bit of a pitted type finish on it. So we'll definitely need to, once we're done messing with it, apply something to make sure that we don't rust out here. So a little mineral oil, something along those lines, work well. It did not take off the made in Taiwan. I think that's probably stamped in there. Alright, so the next thing I'll probably do is clean up the eye a little bit. We'll get the files out and we'll file that up. Alright guys, so hopefully you can see this. What I did is I took a small file here, just a rounded file, and I went along the inside of the eye, both in the on the top and the bottom, trying to get rid of any sort of burrs or anything along this edge here that would conflict with putting it into the handle. And then I grabbed a sheet of 500 grit sandpaper, because I wanted to square off this spine so I could strike a fire steel on it. Well, and then I kind of got crazy and just started sanding the whole top. Figured I could flatten it out, and it would help square it up a little bit. And I kind of like that shiny look, so I decided to just kind of started fooling around with it here. And you can see that I started taking off this pitting, and I'm shining it up a little bit. And I think I'm going to want it shiny. I kind of decided that I want to kind of get rid of all this pitting and try to shine it up and square up these edges. So I don't own any power tools. I don't own grinders or anything like that, but I do have a Dremel, and I do have a drill press. So I can take some of the Dremel attachments, like the sanding and the buffing and polishing and stuff, and stick those in the drill press, and it kind of works a little bit like a poor man's grinding wheel. And I'm going to clean this up and see if I can't get it all nice and clean and shiny all the way through. The interior of the eye I'm just going to leave alone. I'm not going to fool with that. One of the things I noticed was this this lip right here on either side. So coming in here, that it's pretty sharp of an angle, and you can get a fire steel and really get some good sparks in there. So that may be an option for using this to start fires, is just kind of get the fire steel in there. So I may try to profile that just a little bit. I don't really want to mess with it too much. And I can look online and see what other folks have done. But the bonus is that these are really cheap. I mean, I think this was like 25, 30 bucks at the most. So if you screw it up, it's not bad. I mean, it's a chunk of metal. As long as you go slow in this area right in here and don't mess up the temper, then you're not really going to do much to it. Just make it your own, and you can modify the gear. You can see this line right there. I think that's the temper line, where they actually tempered, heat treated the blade, and then the rest is however they do it. I'm not a knife maker, so I don't know the ins and outs of all that funkiness. But anyway, so that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm just fooling around. I'm going to try to shine up all that first, and try to square up this top portion for sure. Even maybe back here, because it is kind of beveled. I don't know if you can see that. Look at the focus in there. You can see it's kind of beveled. And so if we can get that bevel out and kind of square it up, particularly right here on the spine, then it would be able to throw fire steel, or sparks off of a chunk of rock, piece of chert, that sort of thing. I'll have to fool around with that. It's just a toy to mess with, and we'll see what we get. So stick around.